HR was always the trusted but often overlooked support function to businesses, especially before COVID. But now, as we move into the next normal, something which we did a series of blog posts on, which we'll provide you links to, it's never been more pertinent. We're now expected to lead the fight. A recently published report has indicated that employee resilience levels are down, mental health issues are up, with employee confidence in the continued existence of their employers having dropped by 17% and burnout having increased by 9% between 2020 and 2021. This is merely going to continue unless businesses start taking this seriously and placing the people within their businesses front and center. We at Nova have compiled what we believe to be the top 3 trends that are going to be impacting your HR function within 2022 and what to do about them. If this sounds interesting, keep watching. I'm Scott Barrett, Managing Director of Nova Human Capital, provider of HR and payroll support to businesses across South Africa as well as Southern Africa. So the first trend we've dubbed Bridge the Gap. The gap between employers and leaders within businesses and their employees. A recent Gartner survey indicated that 75% of business leaders believe that they run a culture of flexibility, with only 57% of their employees agreeing. The same percentage of business leaders believe that they took into account employee feedback when formulating their business strategies, with only 47% of their employees agreeing. Clearly, there's a disconnect. Is this not the crux of the issue behind the much talked about Great Resignation? With a recent Gallup study indicating that up to 48% of employees in the workforce are actively seeking other opportunities. Besides the much talked about better workplace technologies, better workplace conditions, better pay, perks, and benefits, what can we actually do about this? In short, listen to your employees. Businesses spend an extraordinary amount of money measuring customer experience, voice of the customer feedback, using that to inform how best to serve their customers going forward. This sort of methodology needs to be applied when listening to your employees. An employee experience program, voice of the employee feedback, which is then used to actually be able to implement what is going to be best for yourself, your business, and your employees. This will allow business leaders to close that feedback loop. This can take numerous forms, be it 360-degree surveys, pulse reviews, and more regular check-ins with your employees. Often businesses relegate this to the once-off annual performance review, and as a result, you're not getting that constant feedback to inform your business decisions. Our HR consultants often find that this is something that is a gap within businesses that we're engaged by. And what's incredible to see is the phenomenal difference it makes when these feedback mechanisms are built into businesses and are then used to be able to actually inform how businesses interact with their employees. If this is something that you'd like assistance with or more information on, please feel free to click on the link in the description and we'll share that with you. The second trend relates to employee mental health and resilience. Businesses that are looking to remain competitive, as well as take on the challenges and opportunities that 2022 is going to be throwing at us, are going to need to be willing to spend not only a lot of time, but a lot of money investing in the employees' mental well-being and mental health. What does this mean? Besides the obvious employee assistance programs, which should nowadays be the norm, providing access to counselors and the necessary assistance to your employees, things like flexi work and days off, just to allow your employees a little bit of space to take a bit of a breather, is probably the best tool to allow your employees to overcome overwhelm. Secondly, the cultivation of a culture of psychological safety. This sounds airy-fairy, but at the end of the day, businesses have a responsibility to provide a space for employees not only to be able to talk about the issues that they're experiencing in the workplace, but that of their personal lives as well. Let's be honest, those heavily overlap these days, with work from home having become the norm. The third trend we've dubbed people analytics is power. As I mentioned earlier, HR is very often the overlooked support function within businesses. And this has never been more highlighted by a KPMG study that took place this year, which indicated that up to 60% of CEOs still regard HR as an administrative function, as opposed to the value driver that 76% of CHROs believe they are. Again, a little bit of a disconnect. Why is this? Although HR professionals are making so many of the right moves within business, brought on by the rapid acceleration of digital transformation within these businesses, implementing the likes of new learning platforms, new workplace technologies, this has put vast amounts of data at the fingertips of these same HR professionals. professionals. The problem is this data is not being used to their benefit. In fact, the same study indicated that those same CHROs have had a drop of 3% in the confidence to use that data since 2019, and that 62% of HR leaders do not believe they have the ability to be able to spot trends to provide actionable insights. Slightly scary, isn't it? This needs to be turned around. The HR function within business sits on an enormous amount of data relating to the employees, and general gut feel, intuition-based, experience-based decision-making probably needs to be replaced by the use of analytics of that data in order to ensure that informed and data-driven decisions are taken for the business. This will require a concerted effort and investment on the part of these HR leaders in order to ensure that the data is used to gain a strategic business advantage. This is the exact reason our Nova team have developed our people analytics tool, allowing for those actionable insights driven by the data that comes out of your business. We did a recent video about our fraud and risk detection tool, and if you'd like to watch that and find out more about it, you can just click on the pop-out banner up here. These top 3 trends that we've discussed today are obviously by no means an exhaustive list of the trends that we think are going to be impacting your business and its HR function. And if the last 2 years have taught us anything, is that at least unpredictability is the new constant. If you have found this useful, please feel free to subscribe to this channel or follow us on social media, and we welcome any feedback in the comments below. Till next time, goodbye.